Hey y'all, how's it going? How's it going? This is Lou Rayo inside my window. Inside my window. That's right, you're coming inside my window and exploring all the great things that I have the opportunity to present to all of you. I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you're handling this handling this coronavirus. I hope everyone is safe as well. Man, I really mean that. I hope everybody's safe. I'm going to, this is really cool. This is going to be an awesome video, and it's not going to be long. It's going to be really sweet, right to the point. We're going to transform. This is flour. This is organic, ready, all-purpose flour. We're gonna take this baby, we're gonna transform it, you ready, into homemade bread. What? Yeah, homemade bread. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's see this thing rise to the occasion. Ready? Let's get going. So my friends, why should I go and make homemade bread? I know nothing about flour. I'm not good with flour. Oh, flour just doesn't work with me. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. One, you want to do it. Yeah, and in fact, you want to, if you have a bread maker, take that, don't even touch that sucker. If it's already got dust on it, or if you've been using it quite a bit of time, take that sucker, keep it in the closet, or put it in the closet. I'm going to tell you why. Those boxes that come for bread makers, look at the ingredients, look at the sodium. Man, just to make bread is really just a few basic ingredients. And I'm going to demonstrate something real quick, just to show you why it is so important and yet so easy to bake your own bread. I'm telling you, it's easy. You can make it, bake it, and enjoy it, and just consume it, not worry about what the freaking is in your bread. But I'm gonna do a close-up on this. And look at that. Read what's in just this bread. This is supposed to be Italian, already pre-cut bread. This is insane. It's just insane. Good example, Publix. Publix. If you got a Publix near you, or they're opening soon, I don't know how far north they come, but here in South Florida, all the way up to Georgia, there's a Publix. If you buy one of their pre-sliced Italian breads that they claim they make at Publix, is nothing but BS. In fact, I'm going to tell you something. It took a hard time for one of the employees at the bakery to look up what amount of sodium is in that bread. And lo and behold, that just surprised me as all can be. I couldn't believe it. You ready? One slice. One slice. I'm not talking about two. I'm not talking about three. I'm talking about the Italian loaf that's already sliced up, okay? And that would include the whole entire bread as well. One slice is over 400, ready, milligrams of sodium. One slice. So if you have two slices, that's 800 plus whatever you're going to have in between that sandwich, and most likely it's going to be cold cuts. Forget it. Then you're on, ready? You're on call to the doctor for high blood pressure. Take that pill. That's what it's all about. And then, you ready? Look at the ingredients. Now, if they make their own bread, which they don't, only at the facility. The dough's made, but it's shipped frozen to their grocery store. That's how they do it. But if they make their own bread, let me tell you, it only should be at least the top 4 ingredients. That's it. So the bottom line is, there's nothing better than homemade fresh bread. So what we're going to do, we're going to transform this flour into a simple dish that you all can do. All of you. I'm telling you, it's that simple. First, we're going to start off. Again, You can use unbleached bread flour. That's really great to make homemade bread. But most people, they have all-purpose flour in their kitchen, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and just do all-purpose. So we're going to do 4 cups. Now you can eyeball this. It doesn't have to be exact. You don't have an executive chef over you. It is your kitchen, my friend. Your kitchen. Okay. Hold on. I was talking and I didn't realize how much flour. So basically, like I said, I'm not going to unedit this. Crap happens. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to keep this aside because we're going to use some flour for our hands. And then we're going to use some flour. You ready? We're going to do some flour for our, not just our hands, but for the table so that we can eat it. You want to get hot water, and the water you want it at 120 Fahrenheit. It doesn't have to be exact. If it's 118, that's cool. If it's 119, that's cool. If it's 121, that's fine. Just don't go beyond that. Yeah, I got 4 cups here, but we're not going to use the whole 4 cups. I just did it so I can get this video going, and as you can see, it's going to cool down by the time we're done. So it's going to go down to 121, and that's fine. That's fine with me. I recommend getting rapid rise yeast. It's quick, it's simple. You can use regular dry yeast, but I'm going to tell you the difference why we're doing rapid. Rapid, it's going to allow it to rise super fast, no wait time, not comparison. Normally it takes if you're going to use regular non-rapid yeast, like a dry yeast, if you're going to use something like this, see this, then you're going to have to give it you're going to have to allow that time for it to what? To rise, okay? And we're only going to let this rise once, so it's not a big deal. Now, I'm going to use baking powder. What? I know. Now, some bakers actually do use baking powder. They won't tell you, maybe 1 or 2, but some do. I'm going to use just a teaspoon of baking powder. Why am I using baking powder? Very simple. It will form the acid in the flour to what? Not be so dense, okay? It's going to give it that nice airy texture inside the bread. We're going to add just a little bit of sugar, not enough, not a lot, just a pinch. And what that does, the yeast will feed off the sugar, and that's what allows the yeast to activate really well. And it's almost like, no, I love sugar, okay? So that's what we want to do, is a pinch of salt. You don't want to do a lot of salt. You just want to do a pinch, just like that. So now that we got everything incorporated, it's all coming together, all we're going to do is shift the flour around. Why are we shifting it? Very simple. All the ingredients, you notice there wasn't much, right? Where's that whole other list? You don't need it. It's not good for you. And this is going to be a great opportunity, my friends. A great opportunity for the kids to get involved. They're going to love putting their fingers into the flour. Allow them to do that. It's going to be an awesome family activity if you just give them the choice to do that. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to test the water one more time. It's a 115. It went down real quick. No problem. I want it above 115, so I'm going to add a little more hot water. And why are we doing this with a high temperature? Well, the reason why, well, before I explain that, you want to make a little hole, like it's a volcano. And you want to go ahead, just shift the flour around in the center and pour the water, not the whole thing. You're just going to pour a little bit of water, and what you're going to do, you're going to take from the side walls and you're just going to go ahead and cover that water. That's what we're going to do. Now, why warm water? Well, very simple. Water, the warm water is going to help activate, along with the sugar, the yeast. And that's what makes your flour rise. Gluten is what keeps and binds the bread together. So now, for those who are, they can't have gluten, you can get flour, which is, I think, pretty much made by from rice. You can get flour that's non-gluten. I haven't worked with it, but I'm going to give it a test. And if you have any comments, please do so. Let me know how that turns out. And if you have an awesome non-gluten bread recipe, please share that. Oh man, we would love to hear from you. Okay, so here I'm just adding a little more water. Now, if you notice, it's becoming chunks, and that's what we want. We want chunks. And as you can see, I'm scraping to some of the flour that may stick to the bowl. And you can use any bowl you want. You don't have to use a glass baking bowl. Whatever it is that your heart desires, go ahead and use it. It's just a tool. That's all it is. Okay, as you can see, here I go. Yes. Now, what are we trying to shoot for? Very simple. We want this flour to come together where it starts to bind. That we can one, take it out of the bowl without being so sticky to our hands, but at the same time, it's really nice and soft. But when it's really nice and soft, and we can roll it, ball it, or form it any heart's desire. Okay. Again, everything's all about adding a little here, a little bit of water, then adding just a little bit of flour. That's all you have to do. This is nice and firm, and it's not really sticky. Just maybe a slight bit. That's okay. We're going to discard this bowl for now. And normally, what I would do, if I want to rise the bread twice, I would keep the bowl, oil it a little bit, and lay this in here so that it will rise, push it down, and then place it onto a baking sheet, whatever I'm making, and let it rise one more time. But what we're doing now, we're only going to let this rise once. That's it. We don't need to, because we're using rapid yeast. Rapid yeast. Like that. Rapid. Here we go. Look at this. Now, all I'm going to do is just knead it. Now, what is kneading doing? I hear kneading all the time. Lou, can you tell me? Every time I watch the cooking channel, knead the dough for 5 minutes, rotate it clockwise. What is kneading? Well, kneading is actually, now you're working the gluten. You're getting the gluten to activate. The gluten is asleep. Yeah, it's asleep. So, well, theoretically speaking, when it rises, that's what gives it that flavor, okay? That gluten is working, and that's what we want to do. And what we're going to do, now, I think it's good. What we're going to do, you want to knead it to about 5 minutes, but that's okay. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to I added a little more flour. I want it nice and smooth, okay? And just to let you know, see all this? This is all going to come together. Don't worry about what the bottom looks like. Don't try to get it all like on the top here. Don't. Trust me. Now, there are professionals who can roll a nice dough all the way around. They're excellent. They know what they're doing. But you know what? We're not here to be professionals. We're here to enjoy what we're making. So it's all going to come together. What we're going to do, we're going to shape this baby just like this. Oh yeah. Going to stretch it out a little bit. And we're going to form the bread. And that's all we're doing. We're going to form the bread. Now, you don't need a baking bread pan because many people do not have it. And neither does some people, if not a lot, don't have the luxury to buy it. They're expensive, okay? but you don't need it. The non-stick breading pans, and I find most of them are tiny, skinny. They don't make true Italian bread. It's a big round Italian bread. Remember those breads? If you don't, you could find it on the internet. It's what our grandmothers and even when I was little, my dad used to buy these monster Italian breads, homemade, only 3 ingredients from the Italian shop. Yeah, those days are gone. Okay, maybe some exist, I don't know. Put that in the comment. And don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so I pretty much got this nice log. That's what I did. I didn't tell you this, but when I was mixing the dough with all the ingredients, you could add a little bit of olive oil if you wanted to. A lot of bakers do that. Now what you're gonna need are 2 things. If you get yourself, you can tell we've been cooking. If you get yourself, if you get yourself a pan, a deep pan, you want to fill it halfway with water. Make it hot water. And you're gonna put this on the bottom rack of your oven. Why? Because it's going to create steam throughout the entire inside of the oven. That's going to help get the bread crispy on the outside. You really don't necessarily need to use butter. Trust me, you don't. If you do this method, I promise you, most likely, 99.9, that means I don't want to promise, 99.9, your bread is going to be nice and crispy. Preheat your oven to 425. Because you're going to bake your bread between 45 minutes up to an hour. And you want to check it at 45 minutes. And I'm going to tell you how you know your bread is done. And it's simple. It's simple. Okay. Tin foil. Here's the trick. Now, when this starts to rise, it's going to come out nice and fat. And that's what you want. That's what Italian bread should be. Nice and fat. Well, Lou, who says Italian bread should be fat? Well, that's just the way it was years ago. And it should be still to this day. Now, you can make Italian bread skinny, you know, I know people like change in their life, but I like the old way. I like the fat. Because I love that inside. When it's nice and fat, you got a lot of that nice softness inside. We're gonna form this tin foil into a housing. I'm gonna bring these 2 up just like this. See that? And then I'm gonna take this, place it up, curl this, and start locking it by folding. We're creating a housing, our own baking sheet. Our own bread baking sheet. And I'm curling it in the opposite way because I don't want, when the bread starts to rise, I don't want the bread to get into the grooves. There we go. And you don't want to bring this all the way down because it's going to rise and it's going to get fat. You can use olive oil. I'm just spinning this kick with avocado oil. You just dip a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin. Make sure it's extra virgin. It's one of the best oils for you besides avocado. And I'm just rubbing it. I'm just rubbing the oil around. And we're going to cover this. And we'll give it about a half an hour to 45 minutes. And it's going to puff up. And I already have one done, so let me show you. Get ready for this, baby. Voila! Oh, Lou, that's beautiful. I know, isn't it? I love it. You don't want to disturb this right now. Everything is working. Everything is alive. The yeast, the gluten, it's like all alive. Okay, it's coming. It's alive. What we can do. You want the sharpest knife. The sharpest, my friend. Don't use a dull knife. Trust me. Gently. Don't push in. Don't use any force. You're gonna just lightly guide the knife across. What are we doing? We're making a cut, like an indentation. And that's how you see a lot of the breads have that nice, beautiful indentation. Look at that. Oh, that's what you want to do. That's it. Now we're gonna take this baby and we're gonna put it into the oven. Remember, you want that pan, you want this pan, you want it full of hot water on the bottom of the oven. The rack is going to be not in the middle, it's going to be one below the middle of the oven. The oven needs to be preheated at 425. You're going to time it between 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, now I have the oven set at 425. What we're going to do, we're going to open this baby. As you can see, the water, the steam is all nice and steamy. And we're going to keep this, here's the middle rack, we're going to keep it one below. And all we're going to do, we're going to put this right in the center, right there. We're going to close the oven and we're going to bake it for 45 minutes up to an hour. All right. This sucker is done, my friends, and so are we. But before we conclude everything, let me say what I stated earlier, just so you know. How do you know a bread is done? All you have to do, hear that? When you hear like that hollow sound, that the bread is completed. It is finished. It is baked. And that's what we want. We want that nice, but look how beautiful. Now, I'm telling you, my friends, you cannot buy this in the store. Maybe a few, depending on where you live. Maybe there is a baker out there that does everything from scratch. That's what you want. That's what you get. But most of us at your general grocery stores, no. This is just awesome. So I'm going to cut this right in half. I'm going to, yeah, let's do that. Good. Hear that sound? Oh! Hear it? It's so crispy. Ah! Look at the steam. The steam is coming out. Now, I said to add baking powder. Very simple. Look how nice and airy that. It's not dense. And that's what we want. We don't want our bread to be dense. Dense is almost like a sourdough bread. And that's okay. It sells, well, along with the chemicals, but it's a big seller. And people love sourdough bread. But we don't want that. We want a nice, airy bread. Now, if I allowed this to, if I allow it to rise, let's just say I gave it another 20 minutes. This would even be more airy. Yes, it would. The more you let it rise, the better it comes out, the lighter, okay? That's what if you're shooting for. Otherwise, this is a perfect bread. It complements any meal that you're doing. It's homemade. It's even great by itself. Just add a little butter, right? And you're home, right? You're on the touchdown and you scored because it came from you, your own kitchen, your own hands, and you know what's in it. Nothing else. So my friends, did I say this was going to be simple? Yeah. Was it difficult? Not! So here we go. We got our homemade bread. Stay tuned for many episodes. We're going to do the Ninja Foodi. We're going to bake. You ready? We're going to bake. Yes, we're going to use the Ninja Foodi. We're going to use the Ninja Foodi grill. We're going to bake our own banana bread. Oh man, I got loads of stuff coming up. So stay tuned and be safe, my friends, be safe. So this is Lou Rail inside my window. All I want to tell you is I would love to leave you with peace, joy, and happiness in all that you do, my friends. Take care and be safe, my friends. Take care. Damn.